Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to episode 107 of Driftless Knitting. This is a video podcast all about knitting, yarn, sometimes cross stitch, but that's been a lot less frequent since I had my son almost 9 months ago, so mostly just knitting and yarn. Episode 107, I'm coming to you on Wednesday, oh my gosh, I can't keep track of days, May 26th? I'm pretty sure, yes, May 26th. It is about 7:45 in the evening. I shouldn't say I usually don't podcast this late because my usual I don't have a usual anymore. I podcast whenever I can, so it's either during the week when I'm at home and the baby's sleeping, or it's on a weekend when maybe he is with my mother-in-law or another family member, which doesn't happen that often. So tonight I am podcasting because yes, the baby is sleeping, and also my husband, who's usually home with me in the evenings, is at his family farm helping a little bit this week, and he is staying late tonight. So I thought I would try and get a podcast in. I'm also looking at the baby monitor sometimes, so if you see my eyes going down, that's what I'm looking at, just making sure he's not waking up because his room is directly behind me. And I don't think he can hear my voice. I'm talking a little bit lower, but I'm still a little paranoid about waking him up because he's been teething and crabby and his sleep schedule has been kind of off lately. So really don't want to wake him up. I should tell you who I am in case you haven't watched before. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram as Driftless Knitter. I do still have a Ravelry. I am able to access Ravelry, so you can find me there as Driftless Knitter as well. But I am a pattern designer as well, so I also have my patterns on Payhip and on knitcircus.com, some of them on knitcircus.com, which is what my day job is. I work for Knit Circus, and you can also now find my patterns. I'm working on putting them all on here, but I have driftlessknitting.com now. So yeah, I feel super official having an actual website, but I am going to be putting all my patterns there from now on. You can also find a little bit more information just about me, and I'm going to be putting show notes on there now in kind of not a blog style, but just kind of talking about what I show you here on the podcast, and that way you can review that if you have a question about anything. I'm also hoping at some point to do like a D-stash on there, and it'll just be an easier way for me to keep everything in one place rather than have a bunch of different sites that you have to go to find me, to find my information. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be my first time writing and uploading show notes, so this probably won't come out. I'm usually really prompt with like uploading and putting this on YouTube, but I need a little bit more time now to put the show notes together, so this might not be uploaded until sometime later tomorrow. But I hope that's okay. So I'm gonna hurry up because I do have some natural light still coming in. It doesn't get completely dark here until, 8:30-ish. Oh my goodness, I have 2 mourning doves that just landed on and they flew away. But that was so cute. I love mourning doves, they're my favorite. And we have quite a few around here, and I love hearing them. It reminds me of my childhood. It's such a calming, like soothing sound. I love them. Anyway, okay, let's get started and jump into the knitting content. I also don't want this to be super long because when do I have a free evening to myself? Never. So I kind of want to like do some knitting and watch Netflix or watch knitting podcasts because I am so far behind on all of them. Yeah, it's ridiculous how far behind I am. But I'm going to show you finished objects first. This first one is something you will recognize. I had them going the last couple episodes, and these are the, this pattern doesn't have a name. It's just kind of a rib, like a broken seed rib. You can kind of see it going up the leg. And I have not woven in the ends yet, so let's get that out of the way. Oh geez. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. So yeah, pattern does not have a name. I knit these toe up, started with a Judy's Magic Cast On. I don't knit them two at a time. I do one at a time on US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter needle. And I do magic loop. Like I said, toe up. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is my preferred heel. It is the fastest for me. I have it completely memorized, which if you've knit it before, you know that, you know, if you knit it a couple of times, usually it just gets in your head. And yeah, it's so nice to have something like that memorized. I have knit other heels before, but this one just fits me the best. And even though these aren't for me, these are actually for my sister, I still like doing them. And I've knit her several pairs of socks, and the Fish Lips Kiss heel fits her well too. So then I just went up the leg. I continued the pattern around the leg, whereas down here it's only on the top of the foot. And then did a 3x1 rib. I kind of like to shake up the ribbing that I do at the top. Sometimes I'll do like a 2x2, sometimes I'll do a 3x1, sometimes I'll do a 2x1. It just kind of depends. Usually not a 2x1 because I don't have like odd number of stitches usually, so that doesn't work very well. But and then I did a stretchy bind off. So yeah, I have these on my sock blockers. I have not blocked these yet. I will probably wash them and put them on here to dry just because they're a gift, and it's less about making them look good and more about like washing them because I've been dragging them around with me and working on them for like a month, and so I don't know what was on my hands. I'm a mom, so who knows what's on my hands some of the time. I mean, don't judge. But yeah, I just feel like I'm giving them away. I wash my socks too, actually, before wearing them. I don't know, I just kind of like that as like the final step. Just wash them in some good wool wash, put them on the blockers to dry, and then fold them up and put them away for winter. So yeah, I'm really excited about those. I forgot to tell you what yarn it's in. This is Eternity Ranch Knits. I don't know the base. It's like a 75-25 though. And it's the Beth colorway. So it's a Little Women themed colorway. And I had them in my Little Women project bag from Little Skein in the Big Wool. And yeah, my sister is a huge fan of Louise May Alcott, the author of Little Women, and Little Women was kind of our movie in a way. Like we always would quote it back and forth to each other, and this is the 1994 version, which is my absolute favorite. The newer one is fabulous, it's fantastic, but that one, I just grew up with that movie, and I used to know her and I could like quote back and forth almost the entire movie, not even joking. It's kind of ridiculous, but love that movie. So that always just reminds me of my sister, and yeah, it has kind of a special place in my heart. And she is a like amateur Louise May Alcott scholar, self-taught, self-read. She actually has a podcast coming out on July 12th called Let Genius Burn. It's an audio podcast with a friend of hers all about Louise May Alcott and her work and her history and her biography. Yeah, it's really awesome. I've had a sneak peek. I think I've talked about it on here too, and it's fabulous. They're fabulous. So go check that out if you enjoy literature or history, because a lot of it has to do with the time period that Louisa grew up in. So the Civil War and growing up in poverty and the transcendentalist movement and all that stuff gets brought into it because all of it affected her writing. So it's really, really fascinating. Anyway, oh, and Eternity Ranch Knits, I don't believe they are dyeing yarn anymore. So I'm not sure if any of this yarn is available, but I got it 2 years ago at, I always forget the name of this show. It's in Schaumburg. Midwest something. I can't believe I forgot it the last time too, and I don't know why I keep forgetting it. Anyway, I have another finished object that I just whipped up in the last week. I am starting to put together numbers for the baby Bluff Top Hat, which is going to be a baby and toddler child version of the Bluff Top, which is one of my already existing patterns. And I did the smallest size, which will be the 6-month size. And there it is. Isn't it adorable? So it's just a miniature version of the Bluff Top. Has a little bit of stretch, so it's gonna block out a little bit, but it's got the 1x1 twisted rib and then the moss stitch body. This is done in a worsted weight. I did do a tighter gauge than the original Bluff Top just because I wanted it to be a little bit denser, and I really like the way that the fabric turned out. I knit this out of some remnants that I had from 2 sweater projects. This is Knit Circus Yarn's Ringmaster, which is our 100% superwash merino wool yarn. 100% merino wool superwash yarn. I feel like I said all those words in the wrong order, but you know what I mean. So this one down here is Chimney Sweep, and this one up here is Bedrock. And I didn't think I had enough of the Bedrock to do a full hat. I think I would have, but I didn't want to chance it. So I had a little bit left of this and thought it'd be kind of cute to do a 2-toned. This is just a sample for like numbers. Like I just wanted to knit up the hat to make sure that the numbers worked out. And I'll be photographing, I'm gonna knit the next size up, which is gonna be like a 12-month, well, 12 to 18 month, you know, kind of, it can go a little bit, it'll be a little bit bigger. And that'll be out of a yarn that I'll take photos of. But yeah, this is the first sample. And this will be a gift for my cousin who's having a baby in July. And I think it'll be a great size for when he is old enough to go outside in like the fall and winter. Like I said, it's got some stretch to it, so. Yeah, I can't decide if it looks too big or too small, but I think it's actually perfect. Because babies' heads are bigger than you expect them to be. At least my baby's head was. So those are my 2 finished objects, and I have a couple works in progress. I debated whether or not to show this because I haven't really gotten too far on it, but it's been like 4 or 5, oh no, okay, we're good. It's been 4 or 5 weeks since I podcasted, and yeah, I just thought it'd be a nice reminder of what I'm working on. The reason why I just freaked out a little bit there is because I forgot I took the needles off of this project to knit the Bluff Top. Oops, and I thought my stitches had come off, but they didn't. So I've got this on a cable. This, I work a lot with the Addy Click set. It's an interchangeable set, and I have the lace needles, the longer lace needles, if you're familiar with the Addy sets. And so I just took the needles, I clicked them off of here, and yeah, I just haven't shifted this around much so that the stitches don't come off, but temporarily forgot. So it's gonna be kind of weird to show this off, but you can kind of, here, maybe I'll hold it with one hand. It's large, it's getting larger. This is the Boatyard Pullover by Hannah Fettig, and I'm knitting this out of Cascade 220s, no, not superwash, just regular Cascade 220. It's a worsted weight, 100% wool. This is for my husband. So yeah, I don't know what color the yarn is, but it's a really pretty heathery forest green. And I would say I'm like 3/4 of the way done with the body. I'm getting pretty far. I'm gonna have him like try it before I bind off because I really want this to fit really well and I really want him to like it. So I'm going to be following his like guidance in a way, like how long he wants the arms, how long he wants the body. This is not a surprise. He knows about it. He consistently asks me about it. So because I've been working on some other things, he's like, so how's my sweater? Have you worked on it lately? I'm like, no, sorry. But it is a great mindless project. It's just getting like big, and the weather has been getting really warm, and so I just don't think I've gravitated towards it. Plus I don't know, this is a lot of knitting, and it's done, it's moss stitch, so it's like knit one, purl one, the entire body, and I needed a little bit of a break. So that's where these small projects are just so much fun to get done, and I don't know, it's nice to have like a palette cleanser a little bit. I'm going to show you the picture of it. It's in the texture book by Hannah Fettig. This came out, oh gosh, I don't even know how many years ago, 5, 6 years ago. Really, really beautiful garments in here. I'll show you one that I really want. Isn't that a beautiful little cardigan? So cute. There's a lot in here that I would like to make. But the Boatyard is right there. So nice basic raglan style pullover. So yeah, I am definitely enjoying it. Like I said, I just needed a little bit of a break. And I'll get back to it. He doesn't need it until fall time. It's only May. He'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So one of the other little projects that I've been working on and not working on the Boatyard sweater is something in my Daisy Girl farm bag. I love this bag. I got this, I want to say at Vogue Knitting Live in Minneapolis, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I can't remember. 3, maybe? Maybe it's coming up on 3 years ago. And in here is a sweater, again, for my cousin's little baby, who is due in July. And they're having a boy. So I dug in my stash and I found this beautiful yarn that I knit myself a sweater out of, and I had a bit left. However, I did not have enough, unfortunately. So here it is. It's got a really great texture on the next to the button bands. And I knit my son a little one of these, a smaller size of this, before he was born in a Malabrigo colorway. And I really like this pattern. It is simple, but that little tiny bit of texture on the edges makes it interesting. You wouldn't think that would make much of a difference, but it actually kind of does. And it just whips up really nice. It's a DK weight, so it goes fast. And like I said, I didn't have enough of the original yarn. This is what I had left. And yeah, I wasn't gonna make it with the rest of the body and then the sleeves. So what I did, and this is kind of a little I don't know, a little complicated. So this is an old Knit Circus colorway. And we took this colorway and we changed it up a little bit, like barely any, but a little bit, enough. And we made this colorway. And this is called The Beacons Are Lit, which I believe is a Lord of the Rings reference, I'm pretty sure. I'm not as much of a Lord of the Rings person as I am like a Harry Potter person, but I'm told that it's a Lord of the Rings reference. And it's very, very similar. In this light, you probably can't tell the difference, but this one is a little more gray. It's a little darker. This one's a little more like the blues in it are just a little bit brighter. So what I did, knowing I was not gonna have enough for all of it, is at the bottom here, again, you probably won't even be able to tell in this light, maybe you will, but I alternated every 2 rows. So I went, like I did a right side and a wrong side, and then with the new yarn, and then I did right side, wrong side with the old yarn, and I did that like 3 times, and then I knit like 1.5 inches to 2 inches down with the new yarn. So I kind of blended it, I faded it in. I did that also here in the sleeve. I did like the first couple inches, maybe not even, of the old yarn, and then I blended them together, and then I knit the rest of the sleeve, the majority of the sleeve, in the new yarn. So yeah, it just has more of a gray tone to it, a gray base, whereas this is a little bit brighter. It has more of like a white showing through that old colorway. So I started the second sleeve, and I realized that I did not start with the old yarn, which is what I did for the first sleeve. So I did like the first 2 rows in the new yarn, but now I'm gonna go back. I have enough of this to do like a little, you know, a little bit, and then I'll do that blendy thing again, just because I want it to look even. Even now, like, I'm telling myself they probably wouldn't pick it up, but a lot of times I find that if I'm knitting with a hand-dyed yarn and I don't like alternate skeins or do something like that, in the moment I'm thinking, oh, you'll never be able to tell. And then afterwards, I actually do look at it, especially in certain lights, and I'm like, yep, I can tell where I switched skeins, you know. One of my sweaters, I think it's my Jennifer Steingass sweater that I did in a Knit Circus yarn, you can tell just slightly, there's a slight shift of tone. In the it has a full gray body, and you can tell a little bit where I switched skeins, because I was like, all of our yarns are they're dyed all together and it'll be fine. Rookie mistake. So I'm just gonna make sure that both sides are even, so that if it is evident, it'll look the same. Both sleeves will look the same, and it won't bother me. So I'm doing the 3 to 6 month size in that pattern, and it's the baby Ashley. I think I said that. There's also a wee Ashley, which I think is in a different weight of yarn, maybe? I don't know, because the baby Ashley has like preemie, newborn, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, like, and then it continues on. So I'm not sure what sizes the wee Ashley has. Maybe that one came first and then she added the other sizes for the baby Ashley. I don't know the story, but both of them are by the same designer. It's a lovely pattern. I can't remember who designed it, but if you type it in, you'll be able to tell which one it is. I also have both of my sweaters, I have project pages for them if you're able to access Ravelry. So yeah, you can link, I have it linked in there, so you could always just click into it and find the pattern for yourself. So that's all the knitting I've been working on. I have had quite a bit of knitting time the last couple of nights. That isn't normal. Before this week, there were stretches of multiple days where I didn't get much knitting done, but I'm so excited. I got those socks done and I was like, yes, I was so motivated to start working on this little pattern and got that done, and I'm just like cruising along. I think I could finish that baby sweater by the end of the week, and yeah, I'm really excited to finally be casting things off again. I feel so good. So anyway, I have been really, really good this month. In the last 5 weeks since you've seen me, I've only bought yarn one time. Let me just check the monitor quick. Okay. He's still asleep, but he did move. So I was just holding my breath. And my monitor goes dark after like 5 minutes. It's a video monitor. So yeah. Okay, we're fine. So yeah, I've only bought yarn once, and it was sale yarn from Knit Circus. So I feel so proud of myself. Yeah. I mean, I want yarn. I shouldn't say that. I think I ordered, in the last 5 weeks, I ordered the next Homespun House, Little House club color. Sorry, I couldn't think of the words to say that. So Molly of a Homespun House has been dyeing a surprise club color for all of the Little House books by Laura Ingalls Wilder, and I have been getting them from the start, which was over a year ago she started doing this. She took a break in the middle of last year to move. They moved from Wisconsin, from here, where actually just like a few towns away from where I live, and they moved back to Germany. So they took a little bit of a break, but she's back to dyeing them. And yeah, this one is the Little House on the Prairie, Little Town on the Prairie. Little House on the Prairie. No, that one came a long time ago. Little Town on the Prairie. So there's this one and then 2 more left after that. So it's been really fun to collect them. I look forward to it, and yeah, I'm really excited to get that. So I did purchase that. That's coming. But since then, I have not bought anything. So let me show you what I picked up at Knit Circus. These are some discontinued, well, this one's a discontinued colorway, and then the other one was a misdye, a mistake. So this is a gradient yarn on our trampoline base, which is 100% superwash merino. Isn't that just awesome? I love this color, and I had to snag it. It was like the last one. And this one is called Parcel Tongue. It was one of our Harry Potter themed colorways that we discontinued. So I think that that's the reason it was discontinued. Sometimes we sell our prototypes and they have like knots and things, like we use leftover yarn to create like prototype skeins to try all of our gradients and all of our speckles and stuff. So sometimes those sale yarns will have knots in them or be like less yardage or something. But this one I think is just a discontinued. So yeah, it has 440 yards and it's a fingering weight, and I'm really excited to add that to my stash. I love this like aqua green color. That's like my favorite color. This and like any shade, really all of these. Those are like my favorite colors. Okay, and then the other thing I got was a sock set. This one was a misdye. So it was supposed to be our imaginary best friend colorway, but something, I don't know if they used the wrong dye accidentally, or I'm not really sure what happened, but you can tell the outside of it is just what imaginary best friend should look like, but then on the inside, the pink and yellows, and it just doesn't look quite right. So In the actual colorway, the pinks are in the middle, and there's like yellows and blues leading up to the pink. So they must have just gotten the order wrong, I guess. So yeah, but it's really beautiful. It's so springy, and I had to grab, there was only I think 2 of these that were mistakes, and my boss Bug bought the other one, and I had been looking at this, it was on the shelf, and I was looking at it and looking at it, it was so pretty, and then I saw her buying, you know, because, oh no, he's moving. Go back to sleep, buddy. All the moms out there are like holding their breath for me. Okay, we're good. Today, oh my gosh, this is why his nap schedule is so off. He went down at his usual time. Well, usual time. We don't have like a set nap schedule. It's just like, I know how long he like can be awake before he gets super crappy tired. So we have like, depends on when he wakes up in the morning and all this stuff. So I don't lay him down for naps at the same time every day. I know I maybe should, but I lay him down when he gets tired, which I feel like is a pretty reasonable thing to do. He has the same bedtime, or we try to do the same bedtime every night, which is why he was really pretty overtired today. But yeah, so his afternoon nap, he laid down at about 12, and usually he will sleep like for 45 to an hour. I got my lunch heated up. I was sitting down, about ready to start eating, and I hear him. It had been 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, yeah. It's like the nap time I was counting on to eat my lunch and then get a little bit of work done, because I do work during the days when he naps. It was shot. So that stunk. And then he was up for like an hour, and then he went back down for a nap way too early for his last nap of the day, and then he woke up too early, and now, yeah, he was tired by like 6:30, so he went to bed at 7 today instead of 7:30, 8 o'clock. Anyway, you're probably not interested in that, but sometimes when those naps are not as long as you need them to be, it's so hard. So anyway, back to the yarn. So this is just a one-of-a-kind impressionist, and that's the dye technique. It's that like speckle gradient rather than the like smooth chunks of color like this one. So this is an impressionist. It's a medium set, which is the size I usually buy because my feet are not that big, and 150 yards per cake is plenty. 200 yards would be way too much. I would have like my socks going halfway up my calves, and I don't really want that. So yep, so I get the medium set. I love that we have 3 different sizes, so you can get the one that works best for you. And yeah, I'm really excited to cast those on someday. Who knows? I have to decide though what my next pair of socks will be now that I cast those off for my sister. So the next thing I'm going to show you, the last thing I'm going to show you, is a gift that I received from my mother-in-law for Easter. This was my Easter present, which is so sweet. She is a yarn lover just like me, and it's really, really fun to be able to talk yarn with her. She loves knit circus yarn. I think I've said that in the past, where she'll order something and they'll like set it on my desk with her name on it and be like, take this to Julie, and I bring it home for her. Which is really funny. So she has been ordering the Coop collection from Chelsea Yarns, Chelsea Lux Yarns. She's Chelsea Yarns on Instagram, and her label says Chelsea Lux, so yeah, not really sure how to refer to her. But anyway, the Coop collection is really, really fun. She's gotten the last few months of it, and at Easter time she kind of brought them all out, and wanted to give me some yarn as my Easter present. We all got like a little special something besides like chocolate. She had chocolate and things like that for us, but yeah, my two nieces and my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law and Seaver, they all kind of got something catered to them. And then she brought out this yarn and she's like, I love this yarn, but I'm not going to use it all, and I want you to pick out which one you want. So that was like super exciting and fun and the perfect gift, obviously. So I chose this one. There was no label on it. She must have taken the label off to look at it and to look at the two minis that came with it. So those two minis, so you can see, I'll show you parts of the yarn where, so you can see this yellowy ochre color matches perfectly there. And then where's the teal? There's some teal in here, which matches this quite well. And then the purple, I think these colors both look really great with the purple. So yeah, I chose this set and they were all beautiful, but I really liked the purple and the like teal speckles. We already established this is like my favorite color. It's a little bit different than it's a little more blue than these aqua colors, but yeah, I love this. So yeah, this is, I think, an 80/20. Don't quote me on it because it didn't have a tag, but whatever the fiber content, it's definitely a merino and nylon blend, that I know. I just don't know the proportions. It has that like bouncy 2-ply, and that's my favorite ply. I love the way it feels knit up. I love the way it feels while I'm knitting it. I don't know why, I'm just partial to it. I don't know why. Some people I've heard think it looks ropey and feels ropey. I don't agree. I think it's like really fluffy and beautiful. But that's just me. Oh, you can see more of those kind of teal speckles up there. Oh, speckles. So pretty. And the ochre. My gosh. So yeah, I was so excited. And yeah, I felt super special and lucky to have a mother-in-law who loves yarn almost as much as me. Maybe as much as me. Yeah, we both get drawn in pretty hard, but it's really fun. It's really fun. So I am so happy that I podcasted today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I don't know. I guess I can talk about some, like I said, I have not been watching too many podcasts, but I've been trying to catch up with Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I was watching from like back in January when she first started. After her Vlogmas was over, she started podcasting again. I completely stopped watching, and so I had to go back and watch from like January or February on. I've also been trying to catch up on one of the cross-stitch podcasts, the floss tubes that I've been watching, which is Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. She is a floss tuber as well as a quilter, or cross-stitcher as well as a quilter. So she talks about both. So I've been catching up on her. There's so many I need to catch up on. I've been watching Sue and, oh my gosh, my brain is blanking. She has Treehouse Fiber Arts. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot her name. They do Floss Toss, which is another floss tube. And Sue is from Legacy Fiber Arts. So she and her daughter Chelsea have their podcast, which I haven't, there's a couple new ones over the last couple of months and I haven't watched those. There's so many I need to watch. But yeah, when I can, I try to, but I don't know, sometimes I either just want to watch Netflix or there's like baseball's been on, so I've been watching baseball a lot. and I don't always get free time to watch podcasts, which is totally fine. They'll be there, you know. I can just binge watch when I have a free day, which is really fun actually. I love binge watching podcasts. So yeah, but anyway, I hope I covered everything. I hoped I talked about everything I needed to, showed you my progress, and I can't wait to come back and show you what I've been up to in another few weeks. Like I said, there's really no schedule. It's just whenever I have free time. So hopefully it won't be too long, but until then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you if you're a new subscriber for coming by and checking out my podcast. If you are not subscribed, but you're watching and you'd like to, then hit the subscribe button down below, and any of you, even if you're subscribed or not, can all hit the thumbs up if you liked this video. Thank you to everyone who comes back again and again, and to all my wonderful friends on Instagram who watch and comment and just, you know, chat with me about knitting. And yeah, it's been really nice to connect with people via Instagram over the pandemic. It's made me feel very connected to a community of some sort, even though I wasn't able to really be out and about much. We're still not really, I mean, we're fully vaccinated, but we're not out that often. We've eaten out a couple of times, but it still feels really weird, and I still wear my mask like almost everywhere. So it'll take some getting used to, and you know, I think being cautious is okay. We're just trying to keep those we love safe. So thank you so much for watching. I forget how I end this. Please be kind to one another, be kind to yourself. Do the things you love, do the things that make your heart happy. I will be doing the same. Thank you so much for watching once again. Bye.